Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Living Freestyle live stream. This is a game dev AMA Q&A. We do this twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings right now. My name's Kevin. And the way this works is a lot like office hours. So come and go as you please, ask questions as you please. We're mostly focused on Unreal Engine and, like I said, game dev. I get a chance to, why are we doing this? I work in game dev professionally. I get to do a lot of cool stuff at work every day. But there's a lot of cool stuff I don't get to do, and so this is a chance for me to stumble through those, a lot of those things with you all. If there are no questions, and that's a lot of what's going on lately, then we are making a game. We're just kind of streaming me making my game on the side. And since we don't have any questions right now, the kind of status of where we were is we were kind of working our way through the ability system and in the context of creating frost grenades. We've sort of wrapped that up, and it looks like I think it's time for us to start transitioning into the items and equipment and everything like that. That's a pretty big piece of what we're going to need for the game that I'm making. So we'll be digging into that today. Hope everybody's having a good morning, and we'll go ahead and get started. Let's see here. Okay. So just to recap kind of where we were, we kind of left off with our frost grenades. What we'll do is come in here and just toss out a frost grenade real quick so we can see the effects and stuff. So it sort of freezes the dude. Boom. Right? It also works on ourselves. Right on the edge. And does it basically does damage. So we've got like a three-part thing, right? The initial slowing that's happening, and then we've got the actual, if you're in there too long, you get fully frozen, which is cool, and then the explosion at the end. It looks like I left one of my debug spheres turned on. I'm not super worried about that. What else do we have going on here? Basically, let's make sure everything's streaming and all our levels are right here for a second. Yes. Okay. I started digging in because we're going to need the ability to swap weapons and pick up items and all that kind of stuff. And what I noticed was that it looks like we're pretty limited in what we have available. So right now you can see I have 3 weapons. Currently in the mirror project as it's set up, I can swap between those just by pressing the 1 key, 2 key, and 3 key. That's great. Except, what if I want to, I can drop a weapon too. I think it's X, B, what did I put that on? Oh, that's the emote. That's not it. How to put it on a key. I'll have to go back and find which key I put that on. But the other thing that I did was I went ahead and hooked up the inventory UI. So just by pressing I can pop up my inventory now, and you can see I have my 3 weapons. I can't click or do anything in here. And this is what I'm saying. We have a lot of work to do. This is going to take some time. Not only do I have just those 3 weapons in the inventory, but there's also, I made it so that you can pick up other things. However, you'll notice that when I have these 3 weapons, I can't actually pick up the health pack anymore, right? I can, I went ahead and threw in this interaction stuff. I am able to pick up these boxes, and if I open my inventory now, you can see I have this plasma item, we're calling it, because remember, if you haven't been with us for a while, we used to be able to do all this in our old stack, in our old builds. We used to be able to pick up plasmas, buy items, sell items, dude, we have to rebuild all that. We don't have any of this in the new stack. So that's pretty much what we're kicking off today, and we'll go ahead and kind of get started with a bunch of this stuff. So one of the things that I want to look at first was the key bindings. Is it IMC? Is that the, there we go. IMC shooter game, keyboard, mouse. So these are our key bindings. We have a scorecard. I want to take a look at that as a UI example. Right mouse button. I'm not sure what that does. Grenade is Q. Emotes, quick slots, melee. Drop weapon is G. Alright, so let's go back to this. Alright, so I can't pick up any more weapons. If I press G, it drops it. Now, that's the other thing. It drops it, it's gone. Didn't even, like, it doesn't leave the ammo on the ground, it doesn't do any of that. But now that that weapon's gone, I can pick up the health back. Which, I don't want to take a slot. Now the other thing that happened is, when I do this, I also can no longer... Hold on, I just completely lost it. Oh, yes, I'm limited. I'm limited to 3 weapons based on the slots at a time, the way this is set up. So we need the ability to swap weapons, we need the ability to, you know, purchase weapons, store weapons in a backpack. I would hope that this thing is not an actual weapon. Like I could pick this up and hold on to it, and or this would just get picked up. The other thing that I want to do is, you can see here I can interact with this. If I come over here and press U is my interact. What I'm curious about though is I don't want to have to interact with everything. Some things I just want to walk over. So today I think we're going to build a item that we can pick up just by walking over it. That's going to be one thing we're going to try. We're probably going to make some updates to the UI to be able to click on things to see if we can get equipments to slot it. I just want to see what tab did. It's supposed to show the scorecard. Here we go. Yeah. That's pretty. Okay. Just quit out. What other hotkeys do we have in here? Melee we know about. These are weapon cycling, dropping weapons, and interacting. Okay. Those are all of our keyboard bindings. This is gonna be all of that kind of stuff. Now, this is our interactable rock. You can see here it inherits from a Lyra World collectible. We're going to do something a little bit different. So the interaction ability to grant is the interaction collect. Let's take a look at this real quick. So this is the gameplay ability. Event activate ability from event. Collect. Okay. I wonder what calls that. So it does a collect. It gets the gameplay event data. It's executing gameplay queue with parameters. That's that's probably the visual where the thing is scaling up and stuff. And then if we have the authority, we're going to print class of the target. We're gonna add pickup inventory. That's interesting. What is that? Lyra inventory. Gets the controller, and then we need a pickupable. Alright, and then we're gonna play the montage and wait. So really the only 2 questions in here are some of this collision stuff. There's no longer collision. Oh, we're turning off collision. We're setting the lifespan of the thing we're picking up. This is the only one that's interested in me. I wonder what this is. Gameplay queue, shooter game, interact, collect. I want to look at that. Collect. Gameplay queue, collect effect. My guess is it's this one. Gameplay queue, shooter, interact, collect, yes. And what this does is it plays the pickup. And the pickup is casting the pawn who picked it up. does all the collision stuff. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go back to items. We'll get rid of this collect. And I'm just gonna try to default blueprint. Let's move this a little bit over to the side. And we can move this as well. Just to make some room for our collectibles. All right, let's create a new blueprint. Let's see if we can just do this from scratch. We're gonna do an actor. I am streaming my screen, right? Yes, okay, sweet. That's never happened before. All right, so like this. And this is going to be, let's call this, yeah. So this is a plasma interactable definition, that's interesting. Let's just call this what is it? It's a blueprint. Let's just do test pickup for right now. Nope, it does not like that slash at the end. Okay, and in here, let's create a sphere. Sphere collision. Okay. And we're also going to put a sphere in here because I don't think this is going to show up visually without it. So let's just drop in a sphere. Compile that. That's fine. Now, because this is an interactable and it's just something that I'm going to walk over, I also don't want this thing to affect the nav mesh. So we'll fix that as well. Okay. So our nav mesh should be what it is. All right. Now what I want to do is in here in our event craft, all of these things can be what they are. We could even make it so that the collision is totally turned off. So we don't want the character to step on it. I do want to generate overlap events. And I'm gonna say no to this. All right, so let's do on actor begin overlap, print string. Good old print string. Let's make sure this works. Compile and save. All right, and let's, ooh, I just got shot. It says hello. All right, so we can step over it, which is good. Step one. All right, one thing at a time. All right, so then once we do that, what I wanna do is, let's see if we can give ourselves plasma. So plasma, interesting. Class defaults. Here's static inventory. Okay. And then plasma ID. And plasma ID is an item definition. And when we collect, when we interact, we trigger the interaction. This goes into code. Trigger ability gameplay event, interaction, gameplay ability collect. Okay, let's see if we can, for this thing. Wait. I guess we got rid of our print string already. Alright, so let's cast this to character default maybe? Let's get the ability system. Okay, and let's do ability. Target confirmed. Try activate ability by tag. Try activate ability. Ability to activate. Interesting. So when we interact, we're waiting for the line trace. Where's that collect? We don't want the effect. We can close it. GA interact collection. Takes a gameplay event data and it executes a queue. Casts to the pawn, it gets the controller, it gets the Lyra inventory, and it adds pickup. And the thing that it's picking up is a pickupable. Alright, let's try that. Skip all of the ability system. Don't know if this is gonna work. Alright, so let's get the inventory. Nope. So cast a Lyra character. Get the inventory. That's not what we want. What are they casting to here? Lyra inventory. It's getting, oh, it's off the controller, that's why. Other actor. Get the controller. Get this controller. I never understood why I can't get the basic controller right off that. Let's get component by class. And let's get the inventory. Their inventory. We're not going to try to activate ability. We're just going to try to skip the ability system here. And then let's do pickup. Add pickup inventory. Now, this is where we basically need to either make a pickupable or do something about this. So if we're looking at the collectible, pickupable, it's a target. So let's spawn actor from class, and let's do a plasma. No, I don't want to do that. Pick. I basically want to spawn a pickupable. I wonder how we do this. Select class. This may not be a thing. What is this? This is a Lyra inventory item definition, or Lyra. But the rock, or the plasma itself, is a world collectible. And this is the static inventory that it makes. So look for interactables, update the interactions. Trigger the interaction. What is happening here in code when we do this? We're getting the ability system. Interactable target actor. That's interesting. This is the interactable target actor. Target actor. I don't know how to spawn one of these pickups without having this blueprint. Lyra sounds weird to me. Lyra inventory item definition. That is code. And it inherits from interesting. So one thing I could do, which I do not want to do, is I could just spawn one of these bee plasmas right where it is and trigger, but that's not what we want to do. I mean, that might not be that bad. I'm looking for a way. Get pickupable from actor info. Can I make a pickupable? Nope. Let's do this. Let's spawn. Let's just see if we can get it. We're gonna do plasma. We're gonna spawn a bee plasma. Okay, and we're going to do it. Well, we can do it wherever we want. It doesn't matter. We're going to worry about the instigator. We're going to cast this to pickupable. And if it succeeds, this is what we're going to pick up. So let's just see if we even get this. So when we start, we've got errors. E-test pickup. Oh, it needs a spawn transform. Make a transform. So this is just gonna spawn it at 0, 0. Does this compile now? It does. Save. So what's going to happen here is, let's just do a check. When we first start, when we look at our inventory, we only have one item. All right. Now that's dude, this is another thing. We don't even save inventory. There's no sense of a save game state. If we walk over this thing, all right, this might spawn a rock at 0, 0, 0. Okay. It did. You can see it spawned it. And it also picked it up. Okay, so what's happening here? It's kind of a weird workaround. But basically what's happening is this thing is getting spawned. All right, it's getting cast to picking up. Then we're picking it up. You can see it showed up in my inventory. All right, but after this, we'd want to destroy this. Destroy actor. And I'd really like to not have to spawn this whole actor to do that. I'd like to just be able to create a pickupable on the fly, which is the one thing. But basically, again, if we check our inventory, there's only the gun. We walk over this, we have the Doomflachi. I have 3 of them now. 4 of them. So every time I walk over this, I get another one. So that is totally working. I just don't like having to spawn this actor to do that. So the other option that we could do is B Plasma is a Lyra World collectible. It has an interaction collection. Here's the thing, if I static inventory, we look at this Lyra World collectible, gather interaction option, get pickup inventory. What does this do? And it takes a static inventory. These are all the options. So this is in Lyra World collectible. Lyra World collectible.h. Let's find this if we can. Oh, this inventory system is just definitely not done. Here we go. Lyra World collectible.cpp. Alright, what do we got? Let's get pickup inventory. Returns a static in. Oh, interesting. Can we just make a static inventory? Is that what we need to do? Where's our static inventory? Nope. Spawn. Spawn actor from class. What is static inventory? Is it an actor? Is it a data table? What is it? It's an F inventory pickup. An F inventory pickup is a what? It's a struct. It has instances and pickups in it. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we can't spawn a struct. That's not going to work. So the collectible is probably the way to go. No, we do not want to stop this. That was the wrong button to click. Okay, so what we need to do is let's do this. Let's try something here. Let's kill this. We're not going to spawn the B plasma. We're just going to let's reparent this class. Reparent the blueprint to collectible. Let's compile that. Take a look at our class defaults. And if we scroll up here, I don't see our inventory stuff. E-plasma. It's under Leroy collectible. Here we go, static inventory. Interesting, instances and templates. So if we add put it under template. And the item definition is going to be plasma ID. And then what we're going to do is after we begin overlap, we're going to check that there's the controller and we're going to do all this stuff. But the thing is, rather than this, what we're going to do is we're going to take self. We're going to get a reference to self. And that's what we're going to cast to the pickupable and simplify this. When we start in our inventory, we got just the gun. Then we're going to walk over this. That's going to get destroyed, and we have plasma. Okay, I think that's a lot cleaner. That just means that anything we do, let's see here. That just means that anything we do for items that we're going to collect, it's going to be a pretty straightforward, simple thing. So in our old game, when we would collect plasma, the plasma would fly at the actor, and when it hit the actor, it would get absorbed. So I think that gives us our plasma pickup. We can save this test pickup. But now what we want to do is we want to get into the UI a little bit. And I started watching a bunch of stuff with the common UI. Let's take a look here. Let's look at how some of this stuff is built. Scoreboard. There's a lot of scoreboard stuff in here. So this is show scoreboard. This is an ability add-on. What are we looking for? Scoreboard. Show the leaderboard. Search for references. Control point elimination and shooter game add-ons. Interesting. Okay, so let's do what I'm thinking is I'm looking for what's going to trigger the scoreboard. Because when we press play, when we press tab, our scoreboard comes up. Okay, so somewhere, like the tab is getting mapped to that, but there's got to be an ability for scoreboard. Scoreboard. let's just see what this does. Control points, test inventory experience. Okay, that's not the one. I don't think this is the one. If we edit this, yeah, that's just numbers. This is not our. Scoreboard header row. This is probably a little bit more into it. Match board elimination. This is the one. Okay, so match board elimination is triggered. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Good morning, Goku. How are you doing today? Alright, so this is our gameplay ability for show leaderboard. And what we want to do. Oh, this is part of our ability set for elimination. So this is our input tag, show leaderboard. So if we find references for this, this is going to be, oh, interesting. It's in a lot of these. Okay, so if we edit this, show leaderboard, here we go. That's the show leaderboard. All right, so this is our score widget. No, that's not the one I wanted. Let's go back. We want the leaderboard. Leaderboard. Oh, okay. No, we don't. Because header row, reference viewer. This is used by this one. Edit. Okay, this looks a lot more like what we're looking for. And I was just kind of curious what kinds of things they're doing to make this stuff look pretty, because I think we should make our inventory look a little bit cleaner. And before I just started hopping in and hacking it to bits, I was curious, because this, I'm thinking this uses common UI, but I don't know for sure because I haven't finished looking over all of the common UI stuff. But there is not a lot going on in here. Like, how does this thing even... Edit, oh, this is a team stat. Team stat, here we go. Now we've got on construct, we're getting the timer, we're updating the state, we're setting the team style. Okay, this is all starting to make it. We'll need to run target scores through tags or another system so it can be assigned easily, like the team score. Get the team score, okay. Dude, all right, this does not look like rocket surgery. This looks like standard UI stuff. All right, so let's do a couple things. First, let's make our inventory nicer. Inventory. And inventory tile. Where does this live? This is a prototype. I don't know if we want that. Let's hold on a second. Inventory grid, reference viewer. So here's our inventory grid. It's referenced by our inventory screen. Our inventory screen is referenced by 2 different toggle inventories. Okay, so let's rebuild here. Let's take and in the Horde War shooter in the UI, let's copy that inventory screen. And we're gonna put this in here. Copy here. And in here, oh goodness, we're going to need inventory tiles too. So let's go back and grab our inventory tiles. We'll take that. See if we can just rebuild all this stuff over here. Copy here. Okay. Now, how do we make sure that the inventory screen that is being activated is the one that we're looking for? Okay, so right now, when we trigger our inventory using our toggle inventory ability, which one is this? This is shooter core. Shooter maps. Let's edit this. Here's the inventory screen. So let's rename ours to be UI. It's going to be the HWZ inventory. I'm not happy with our naming right now, but that's fine. We'll just do this for right now. I can't find it. The reason it can't find it is probably because it doesn't scan this plugin folder. Compile. That's fine. Yeah. It's referencing, so I can't reference, so this is the plugin architecture problem. I can't reference text style large. So let's axe this. Let's just do text style base. Okay. And then this guy. What is this? This is an acquired list. I don't want this. What happens in the graph? Nothing. So we can just, we can just pretty much axe all of this stuff. And see, this is a widget grid, which is using the inventory grid. Man, I don't know if we want to do this. So let's go back in time. Go back in time. I'm gonna go back in time to our old project. And the way this was set up was we had our list and it was broken into two sections. And this top section was basically it had items boxes. And then what we would do in here is when we would launch, we would set up the items list. And the setting up the items list would basically take the items box, clear all the children, which it didn't do anymore, and it would add inventory items to the list. And then it would add store items to the list. So when we add inventory items to the list, we get the controller, we get the inventory items, we go through each, we cast it to an item. Then we create an inventory item widget, and then we would add it as a child to the items box. And the items box was here. And this was a list. Okay. Let's, you know what? Let's build from scratch. Inventory. Okay. And we are going to do it more like this. Can I copy this? Can I paste this? Oh, I can. Alright, so let's get rid of inventory. Let's change this team to be, we'll just call this title text. And the text is going to be inventory. Inventory. Cool. It's already looking better. And we're going to put this. Yeah, let's just put this back under the header border. Get rid of this border. Put this under the vertical box. Here we go. Okay, so the header border, we're going to want to top align that. Vertical box. There we go. My hair looks so nice. Goku, are you talking to the right person? Also, when you say you like it, I missed something. What is it? Oh, for the stream. Got it. Here, I was thinking I need a haircut. Well, I appreciate that. All right, in vertical box, we'll make it the full width. There we go. So now we have a nice inventory border up here. Let's change our brush a bit. Let's do the blue. I like that. I like that. Okay. So if we want to see if this is working, get desired focus target wasn't implemented. You're going to have trouble implementing. What the? Get desired focus tab. Functions. Get desired focus target. Interesting. I have no idea what that means. Okay, no errors, no warnings. All right. Text large, cannot reference. Inventory grid. And yes, it is a fair bit different. Although I heard with Unity that they've been implementing some more node graph based stuff. I forget what the name of the plugin was that you could download, but textile large, inventory grid, and user interface, item acquired. I didn't think I had any of that stuff done. Let's delete this. Because we're going to be making our own tiles. Okay? And then if we go back to our designer, really all that should happen right now is we should just, if we toggle our inventory now, well, first off, it's bringing up the wrong one. So let's see if we can get hours to show up. Oh, that's right, because the shooter doesn't know. Doesn't seem right. Where's our gameplay ability here? Inventory. GA toggle inventory. Let's try none. And the reason I want to do this Okay, so hold on a second. GA toggle inventory and shooter core legally references proto. Oh, so that's not even allowed to reference. I mean, I know a lot of people who make their own game engine. I think my question to you would be, why do you want to make your own game engine? Is it because I think the thing is, what's your end goal, right? My question for you is, you want to make your own game engine because you would like to build the next Unity or Unreal and kind of take over that market? And if so, awesome, right? That's really, really cool, but it's a ton of work. Or is your goal that you want to make your own game, and your own game, the Unity and Unreal engines aren't sufficient enough for you to make your own game the way you want to? Or are you trying to make your own game engine just so you can better understand? For fun, yeah. Do you already work in games, Goku? It's actually Gokuo, not Goku. Gokuo Craft. Because you could make, I mean, literally, you could make your own games with Unity or Unreal. You could, I mean, they're both fully scriptable, fully buildable, so you learn insane amounts about game engines. Without having to do all of that extra stuff. I think it just depends on what your end goal is. So shooter core does not seem to be able to reference. It's like the shooter core plugin does not know how to reference stuff from the Horde Wars. But Horde Wars can reference shooter core. That's interesting. This whole gameplay plugin feature thing is kind of mind-boggling. So is it as simple as... Well wait, Gokuo, now with everything being remote, it's pretty straight. I mean, it's not nearly as difficult as it was to get a job at games. The number of offers that I see that are fully remote, it's pretty high. So as long as you have a reasonable internet connection, I wouldn't put that out of the realm of possibility if that's something that you wanted to do. All right, we're gonna build our UI in the shooter core, I think. Oh, I don't want to. Can I just add a section here? This is shooter core. Game. Hero data. Ability sets. Third person. System. Experiences. Combat gem. What does WDYT mean? What do you talk? What? Where can I look for it? What do you think? Is that what do you think? What is your yeah, what do you think? Just like all kinds of places. What is your current experience level? Right? And literally I think if we just do let's see here. LinkedIn. No, remote gained job. See LinkedIn. +20 million jobs on LinkedIn. And these are all the different kind of artists that it's filtering by already. Let's see here. A little bit off topic, but you should be able to search. Okay, so let's do, it seems like you're either software engineering or a tech artist. Which one do you want? Technical artist and remote. These are all tech artist jobs. And on-site remote is an option. We're gonna check remote. 99,000 results. Dude, there's so many out here. Like, there's, you know, there's a lot. The fully remote world is real now, and there's a lot of options there. So I wouldn't rule out opportunities in game dev, especially now. Okay, this is team deathmatch. So these are components. That's not what we're looking for. These are actions, action sets, and game features to enable. Well, look, we're gonna get stuck if we don't actually just move this stuff. So let's just not sure why, because reference viewer. This is our inventory screen. This is using UI foundations, and UI menu. Okay, so we're able to use all of these. That's cool. So these should all work. Now, there's nothing in our graph. All right, and then we're going to go back here. Environment, where's our abilities? Inventory. GA toggle inventory. Oh, this is in the shooter core. That's okay. Go cool. I think for a tech artist or an engineering position, if you are generally a problem solver, you're gonna be all right. And if you're saying things like, I want to build my own game engine, I feel like you're probably a creative problem solver. So also, do not give up. The number of times that I got rejected is beyond explanation. Like, I got rejected from every studio under the sun when I first started, and it took me a long time to kind of break in and figure out what it was. So a huge part of it is persistence, a huge part of it is timing. It's not even necessarily you. So yeah, there's chances out there is all I'm saying. Don't rule it out by any means if that's what you actually want to do. So our problem right now is our gameplay ability for our toggling our inventory is actually in Shooter Core. Do we even have any gameplay abilities in our Horde Wars? I don't know that we do. So for ease, right now, because we just want to get this stuff going, let's move this into here. Okay. And then let's take a look at our toggle inventory here and our input abilities. And the widget to spawn is this guy. So now we should be able to spawn our inventory map. There it is, you can see it at the top. Okay? So we're actually now spawning our inventory, which is good. So now we need to go about the steps of building all of our tiles and everything like that. So there's a couple things that I want to do though. Let's not fill this whole thing with this vertical box. Or you know what? Let's put this overlay. Let's put this in another vertical box. We're gonna wrap this with another vertical box. And the reason we're going to do that is we're going to take this vertical box and fill the screen, and this one we'll put in padding of 50 and 50, and then this vertical box where do we set our brush for this? Okay, maybe we didn't want a vertical box here. Replace with an overlay. Interesting. Nope. We're gonna replace this with canvas panel. Let's try this. This canvas panel. I don't think we want this. List. Okay, this is called a list, and it's an overlay. It has a vertical box in it, and here's an items box, which is a horizontal box. What is that? That's the background. Scroll box for the store. Background is a border. That's what we want. Alright, so let's go back. And let's add in border. There we go. Our border. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in our vertical box. We'll put some padding in here at the top of 50 and the bottom of 50. And then for our border, let's take our tent image size brush color. There we go. Okay. Why? There is no brush. Here's our brush color. Interesting. 0 on the alpha. Whoa, that's wild. That's our header border. Coding VR is a challenge. All those frame rates and everything fun. Right now I can't even get a UI to work. Let's see here. There we go. This might help. And then brush color. Black. And there we go. Now we're making some progress. Okay. There's no padding. Oh, here we go, padding. Top of 50. Should bump it down. Bottom of 50. So let's say 100. 100. Now when we play, our inventory should be... Oh, it is all encompassing. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop our transparency. Cut that in half. Okay, just to make that nice and pretty. But I think we should also put in some padding. Let's go 100 on each side on this. And then, interestingly enough, for this little vertical box, we're gonna do the same thing. That way it's not, you can clearly see where it is. Okay, looks better. All right, so now what we need is we need an inventory tile. So probably the easiest thing to do is going to be inventory screen. Here's our inventory tile. Let's copy this into our shooter one. Copy here. Okay, and then in here, we need to change all of our fonts. Okay, so there's no style sheet there. The image, that's fine. Compile, save. All right, and then what we want to do is when our inventory spawns, let's do add an event. Is there a construct? There is a construct. Cool. And let's do just like we do here when we're spawning. We're gonna add inventory items. Interesting. We're basically just gonna get the items and then we're gonna go through each one. Okay. So let's add a custom event. And let's add, not just add, this needs to be show, no, yeah, add inventory items. All right, and then what we're gonna do is if we go back to the original inventory screen, which was probably this grid, we get the owning player, we get the inventory, then we get all the items and we start doing stuff. So this should be pretty straightforward. We're going to get the items. And then for each one, they're listening for gameplay messages. Oh, stack change. That way, okay, so this is just in case your inventory changes while you have your inventory open. All right, that's a fairly reasonable thing. Tile view widget is the add, and this is all the extra. So we can just steal all this. We can basically steal all of this. And when we plug it in, it's not gonna work because a bunch of these things we don't have, but that's okay. We're going to simplify this a little bit. All right, so we're gonna get all of our items. This tile view widget is interesting to me. We're gonna go through each of them and we're going to add our widgets. So tile view widget, let's just go back and take a look at this. Tile view widget is here. And this is a common tile view. And this is an items box. Just a horizontal box. Creates the widget and it adds it as a child to the items box. I work for Goku. Sorry, there's a delay in the chat, and sometimes I'm thinking. I actually work for Riot Games. Okay, so if we go back here, and we go back to our designer, let's create an items box. So underneath here, let's do. It's just a horizontal box. Horizontal box. Okay. And we are going to make it how are we going to set the size of this? That's not what I was looking for. Scroll box, horizontal. Okay, we need a scroll box too. Wrap with the scroll box. Did that work? Wrap with a scroll box, please. Thank you. And then border. Where's the size of this come from? Size. Alright, for now we'll do fill. And then we'll do a horizontal box. And we're going to call this items box. Okay, and it is going to be a variable. And then what we will do is in here, we're going to items box, add item, add child. Nope. Add child. And the reason we're doing that is okay. So rather than adding the item, because that's going to add it to the list view, what we're going to do is we're going to add child. But before we can add the child, what we need to do is we need to create our tile. So to do that, we come back here. This is kind of what our tiles used to look like. And this is a, what is this? This is an inventory item widget blueprint. Inventory item widget blueprint. So back here, what I'd like to do oh, actually we went quite a bit over today. All right. This tile is in shooter core. This tile we're going to rebuild. And we're going to be rebuilding it to look like this. Because this is much prettier. So let's just steal this. This will be way faster. Copy here. And then in here, we're gonna call this the inventory. This is gonna be widget inventory tile. And we don't need this one anymore. Oh, but I guess it's being used. Oh, reference viewer. It's not actually being used, it's just in memory. We can close that. Delete that guy. Okay, and in here, let's size this up a little bit. So we have our vertical box. We don't need, this is not gonna be team. This is going to be, we do need how many of them. We don't need this red at the bottom. We don't need this scale box. We'll keep the glow, that's cool. 99, these are numbers, that's fine. But these aren't going to be gold text, this is going to be item count. Item count text. And I think we only need one of these. Okay. Team icon. That is not going to be the team icon. We're going to have to set that. wish you had a subscriber, but it's awesome. It's the wrong but. I wish I had a subscriber, but I would sub to you. What does that mean? Because I thought you could just follow me on Twitch. And you can also follow on YouTube as well. Team, I don't think we're gonna do. I don't think we need that. We may, let's just change this from team to be name. That's an example. And then how do we change the size of this? Height. 400, 300, 200. I see. Let's go 200 by 200. I actually think we should go 300 by 150. 200. Okay, let's call this. Let's call this our widget. Okay. And what we need to do is a couple things. In our graph, we don't need any of this stuff anymore. Okay. Where is this? Set team style. I don't think we need this. Team text should not be called team text. This should be item name text and item count text. That all looks better. Okay, team name we don't need anymore. We don't need this. And this should be called set. Let's go tile style. Wait, I can't rename this? I can't. Set tile style. It's gonna feed in. We're going to compile. All right. I wish we could do this longer, but I actually do have to go to the day job. And, you know, it's one of those things where I mentioned when we started that this was going to be a long road. We're basically having to rebuild this entire inventory system, and we're only getting started. And what I mean by that is, it's fun to make the interfaces and the UIs and stuff like that. We're kind of working through those. We'll get them, you know, kind of set up and fixed and created. But the biggest problem that we're going to have is we're going to have to kind of change the way the things under the hood work a little bit. Only having 3 weapon slots, and we're going to need to change when we go to pick up a weapon. We either need to change how weapon slots work, where you go to pick up a weapon and you're not actually picking up a weapon. What you're picking up is a Lyra World collectible. And if that Lyra World collectible happens to be a weapon, then we could equip it. It's one way we can do it. Or we could pick up a weapon, and if our slots are full, it just drops it over and over again. But then we'd need world spawning of the stuff. We're going to need a way from our inventory to be able to click and consume items, use items, add them to active slots, all this. None of that seems to exist from what I can see. So this is going to be a little bit of a long road. It's going to take us quite a few sessions. But we do need to wrap up for today because I have to go to work. And I hope that you all have a great week. Goku, thanks for hopping in. Anybody else who is hanging out in the wings, thanks for hopping in. As always, if you all have questions that you'd like to see us cover for next time, just throw those down in the chat below, or feel free to come and just ask live. We've actually gone through blueprints and things like that for people before and set up little scenarios. And that wraps up our our Q&A for today. Sweet. My name's Kevin again, and I'm out. I'll see you guys next time for another Living Freestyle Game Dev live stream. Later.